The war between Harvard and the White House has just gone nuclear. At stake, $2.2 billion in federal grants and another $60 million in contracts. The trigger, Harvard's refusal to implement sweeping policy changes demanded by Donald Trump's administration, changes that critics say would crush academic freedom, rewrite how universities function, and change who gets to study and teach in America. This is a constitutional face-off, and the stakes go far beyond Cambridge. The Trump administration, through its Joint Task Force to Combat Anti-Semitism, issued Harvard a list of demands allegedly to curb anti-Semitism on campus. But these demands went far beyond that. They called for eliminating diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, merit-based hiring and admissions, a ban on face masks at protests, audits of the political views of students and faculty, and stripping power from administrators seen as too activist. The message was clear: reform your campus or lose billions. Harvard didn't blink. President Alan Garber responded with a defiant letter, rejecting the government's terms as unconstitutional. He warned the freeze threatens not just Harvard, but scientific research, medical breakthroughs, and AI innovation across America. In his words, no government should dictate what private universities can teach, whom they admit, or which areas of study they pursue. Garber accused the Trump administration of trying to regulate the intellectual conditions at Harvard and vowed the university will not negotiate over its independence. The administration claims this is about anti-Semitism and civil rights, but critics, including Harvard law faculty, say the real goal is ideological control. Their lawsuit calls it an unprecedented threat to undermine free speech in service of political preferences. December 2023, a viral Capitol Hill hearing. Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik grilled Harvard's then-president Claudine Gay over anti-Semitic rhetoric on campus. Her repeated refusal to clearly condemn calls for genocide drew national outrage and eventually forced her resignation.
At Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment, yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual, at an individual.
It's targeted at Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment, yes or no?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric.
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
That moment added fuel to what would become a national crackdown on elite campuses. Trump's critics say the administration has weaponized that outrage for political gain. As the funding freeze took effect, Harvard's faculty filed a federal lawsuit. The American Association of University Professors says the White House bypassed due process under Title VI and illegally tied funding to political demands. Meanwhile, students and locals in Cambridge rallied behind the university, warning this is the beginning of state control over free thought. Even Barack Obama weighed in, praising Harvard for rejecting what he called a ham-handed attempt to stifle academic freedom. For now, the $2.2 billion remains frozen, but the lawsuit could determine whether future administrations can use taxpayer money to shape campus policy. Will Harvard be forced to comply, Or will the courts draw a hard line to protect academic freedom? The answer could change how every American university operates.